John Fedro with mobilehomeinvesting.net. In this video, we're going to do something a little different. As I'm explaining the video and what we're talking about, I'd like you to watch the video as we're walking through a mobile home. See if you can find the mobile home's identification, the mobile home's data plate, or the HUD label. So we'll talk about what that is. First of all, on this video, we're talking about ghost mobile homes, and that's not mobile homes that are spirits from another world. These are untraceable mobile homes without any identifying VIN or serial number or any identification. Now, they may have the titles, but that's usually not a ghost home. But on the actual structure itself, kind of like on a car, there's the VIN number, it's stamped, it's put on pieces of metal in various locations. Well, with a mobile home, that's not the case, which we'll talk about on this video. So you can have a mobile home that's just untraceable. It's just a structure without any numbers associating it, so you can't really identify the history of that mobile home. Now, if you have the title to the mobile home, you can usually assume that, okay, this title probably goes with this mobile home if that's what the owners say. On the title, it may say the length and the width, and you can sort of see if, okay, this kind of matches up with the size of the home. Roughly 30% to 50%, I think it's closer to 30%, but I've heard up to 50% by top mobile home experts in the field that 50% of mobile homes in existence are ghost mobile homes. They're just untraceable. And we'll talk about why that is. We'll also talk about on this video if you're living in a mobile home like this, if you're going to be buying a mobile home just as a regular buyer, and then also if you're an investor. We see this all the time. I just said 30 to 50% of mobile homes are these untraceable ghost mobile homes. What do we do? So let's first talk about how to find this identification and if you can find it. Because if you can find it, great. You can obtain a new title. You can go down the rabbit hole of figuring out who owns what. Are there liens? Are there back taxes owed? So finding a VIN, a serial number, a HUD label number. We're going to talk about what those three are. Let's first talk about a mobile home data plate. What is that? Well, on the HUD website, a data plate is a paper label affixed inside of a mobile home about the size of a standard sheet of paper. The data plate can be found in the kitchen cabinet, the electrical panel, the bedroom closet, really in like a dozen other places over the years. And data plates have been used since the beginning. You'll see data plates on homes from the 50s or 60s and then up through today. They have a lot of pertinent information about that mobile home. So you'd think that it would be more important to have that besides like on a piece of paper that can just be ripped off. And as you can see in the past, it used to be a metal sheet. At first it was more thick, and then it just became like aluminum foil that had the information of the mobile home. Now it's a piece of paper glued to the wall, as if people aren't going to remove that, or it's not going to get covered up, or people don't like, if it's on a wall, they want to change that. So, of course, in a lot of mobile homes, these are removed, and that's one of the few, if any, places that it can be found. The next place to look is a HUD label. Now, when HUD got stepped in 1976, the middle of 1976, and said, okay, we want the mobile home industry to be regulated, and now there's no more mobile homes, it's only manufactured homes. Now that it's manufactured homes, we're going to affix these little labels, this HUD certification label, that HUD has sort of checked off this home, and yes, you've passed the Housing and Urban Development Standards of Approval, and this can actually be a manufactured home. And the label's approximately 2 inches by 4 inches, like a business card made of metal, riveted. So it sort of stays into the back of the mobile home better, and that's where it's put on. So it's put on the siding of the mobile home, whether it's wood, aluminum, vinyl siding. It's just riveted, as you can see right here, usually into the back of the mobile home. If the tongue is on the front, on the very end, on the back of the mobile home, usually on the bottom left corner is where you'll see this HUD label, and it has unique information on it. It has a couple numbers and a couple letters, and those are not the same as the VIN number or the serial number, but it is specific to this one mobile home. So you can try to find the HUD label number on the back of a mobile home, and it should be there. If it's missing on your mobile home or a home you own, you can order a new HUD label, but it should be there if it's after 1976. It was there at one point, and it's either removed or covered up, or like you see here, it's really kind of tough to read those numbers on top, but you can. clean that off a little bit. And that one's actually not that bad, you can see in the picture. Now, this is interesting. It's sometimes it's pressed into the steel I-beam. Now, that's a good idea. The mobile home has these two I-beams going underneath the home, big girders to support the weight of the manufactured home, and they just stamp that VIN number right into the metal. Now, this is genius. Why don't all companies do this? I don't have an answer for you. That's a question. Why don't all companies do this? And even press it like every 6 feet, so you don't have to go hunting for it. You can see it right here in the video. It's on the front of the mobile home, usually where the tongue is, and it'll be just small, anywhere from that big to that big, the VIN number, if it's there. And I would say it's only there 15 to 20% of the time. Most manufacturers don't press the VIN number into the steel of the mobile home. I guess they just don't have to do it by law, and if you don't have to do it, then maybe why would you do it? But it'd be super helpful because I get emails all the time from people that don't have the data plate, they don't have a HUD label number on the back, they can't find the numbers pressed into the I-beam near the front. There's no park manager to talk to, and if there is, maybe you can ask your manager to say, hey, do you have any old paperwork on my mobile home? Do you have like a copy of the title from years past or anything in your file? The legal description, if this is attached to a piece of land, the VIN number may be on the legal description right at the end, or at the tax office in your local city or county, or at the DMV if you use the address of the home to then kind of backtrack to say, hey, here's my address, here's the name of the owner. What does it show? Can we get the VIN number? What information can we get? And then old financing paperwork. If you've had a bank loan on this home, if you're in this mobile home or you're buying it or trying to sell it, you can look back in old financing paperwork. So you might be asking, well, John, why can't we just get a new data plate for the home? Why can't we just get a new title for the mobile home? And that's because you don't have any information. This is, again, an untraceable mobile home without any sort of identification to it. So you can't go to the government, you can't go to your state to ask them, hey, can I get a duplicate or can I get more information about this home? Because they're not going to know which home that you're talking about. And if there's no way to pull it up from the address or from the person's name who you think owns it, or maybe they don't even own it any longer, or it was pulled from a different state entirely and there was never a title in the state where it currently is, there's a number of reasons. So without a VIN, it is near impossible to get both the data plate and the tags. And here on the HUD label or on the HUD website, you can see if the information cannot be located within the home, the requester should obtain previous financial paperwork. If you know where this home was originally, where the buyer originally borrowed the money, or if you have information, if you bought this home and you have old financing paperwork, which oftentimes these are cash deals and this information is not available. Now, if you do have the VIN number, you are able to find the VIN number on the mobile home. Well, that's completely different. Now that home has a name. That home does not have amnesia anymore, and it can remember who it is. I am this mobile home with this VIN or serial or HUD label. Now you can go to our website, IBTS, the Institute for Business, Technology, and Safety. Very sexy name, but they're super helpful when it comes to this particular situation. If you have the VIN number or the serial number, you can request a certification, not the full data plate, but all the information that was on that original data plate. This website has a library of that. And if you pay them, they will tell you the information that you want most of the time. But again, without the VIN, without serial number, without a HUD label number, and you can go down again that rabbit hole of trying to find where it might be located. But let's go ahead and talk about the precautions to take. If you're a current mobile home owner, no VIN, no HUD label number, again, I've said that a bunch of times on this video, and if that's the case, you can't find any info on it. It is a ghost, untraceable mobile home. Don't expect to refinance this. Don't expect a bank to lend money on it. Also, when you sell the home, if you sell it, it's probably going to be to an all-cash buyer because banks won't finance that. Is a title available? I'm guessing that if you made it this far in the video, a title's probably not available, and therefore, can you sell it? I mean, without actually physically transferring ownership from one person to another on the state level. And in most states, it's a title. In some states, you don't use a title, but in most states, you would. Can you transfer ownership with a bill of sale? We've talked about that on other videos here on this channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video if it's been helpful. But can you sell with just a bill of sale? Not usually. You can transfer possession. You know, here's my keys. Here's a bill of sale saying I consciously give this home to you, and it's in writing. But you know, as far as the state is concerned, as far as the taxes are concerned, you wouldn't be selling most of the time with just a bill of sale. But if you plan on living in this home that we're talking about, if you're the homeowner, live in peace. If you've gone this far without any issues, live in peace. Hopefully you don't have to refinance or sell the home. You can just keep living there. The only hurdle or issue would be if you are in a mobile home park and the new management comes in or a new owner that says, all right, we're going to kind of clean up this place and make sure everyone has their title, everyone's the owner of the mobile home. That could be a problem because you can't necessarily prove that you are. And that is if you're the homeowner. If you're a regular mobile home buyer, not an investor, but just a buyer, be very, very, very cautious. Don't buy unless you have a clear plan, a clear and legal plan, ideally, moving forward. Whether you keep the home in the same spot, whether it is moved to a new location, if you can move it to a new location, be very careful about that. If it's in a mobile home park, ask the park manager their advice. Explain the situation, ask the park manager's advice, because that park manager may tell you to do one of many different things, depending on the park's rules and policies. They may encourage you to buy the home and you're fine just to keep it there, pay lot rent, or no, you shouldn't, or no, if you do buy it, we are going to ask that you do have title, and are the titles available. That's if you are a mobile home buyer. Be very cautious. If you have any specific questions as well, please comment them below. And if you're a mobile home investor, I think many folks maybe watching this video are investors. We see this all the time. So you do want to still be very cautious. Make sure nobody's trying to fool you or trick you or scam you. Is it legal to move? Debatable, but probably not. But do mobile home investors do it? Yes, they do. Is it legal to resell? Are there titles? Probably not. Are you able to get the titles or go, follow what we talked about earlier to try to track down the titles? And if you can't, do you still try to create value with this? Is someone else going to take it? And if you found it, if you were the one to track that seller, you should be rewarded for that. If you can do things safely and ideally legally and protect yourself, protect your buyer, protect your seller, disclose everything. And do you, like we were saying before, will you even own the home? If there's no numbers on this, just because you're in it doesn't mean you own it. It doesn't mean just because you have a bill of sale doesn't mean you own it. Don't buy unless you have a 100% clear plan moving forward, whether you keep it in the same spot, whether you move it somewhere else. I hope that this video made sense. There's other situations, if this is on land, if this is in a park, that you might be facing. Please feel free to comment them below or email me directly at support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. That's support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. If you want to learn more about mobile home investing or potentially invest together, feel free to check out mobilehomeinvesting.net. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that this information was valuable and it helps your specific situation. If not, reach out anytime. Now go make it a great day. Take action, take massive action, and I'll talk with you in the next video. Bye-bye.